Welcome to Learn Commerce PU online classes. Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.
Hello my dear students, welcome back to First Commerce Accountancy online classes. In last class, we discussed about the importance of accountancy, right? So why we need to maintain accounts, okay, in each and every business organization, or consider the individual aspects. What are the importance of account, okay? And lightly we study the meaning of accounts also. Accounts gives the information about the money used, profit earned and loss occurred, okay? So accountina ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಒನ್ ಮೋರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್. ವೈ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್, ವೈ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಅವರ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್. Say for example, take a simple example of a village milkman, okay? He sells milk to some customers, okay? At that time he maintains his records in his own way. For example, he sells milk of a measure to some customer. When he marks, say for example, say it may be the 1 liter or half liter, okay? Say he marks line for 1 liter, one full line for 1 liter, and if he sells half liter, then he marks half line, okay? In his own way he maintains accounts. At the end of the week he counts the lines and counts the lines of each customer and collects the money, okay? Say when a village milkman maintains his accounts, okay, his transaction in his own in this manner, then imagine, think about the business person or a business firm. We know that business firm has to perform different functions, and number of transactions are taking up daily in their organization. At that time they need to maintain their records. It may be the purchase or sales or receipts or payments and all, okay? So that's why organization has to maintain account and they need to maintain their transactions, okay? So the first basic intention or priority of this account is to know the financial position of a business organization. ಫೈನಲ್ ಒಂದು ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ಸಿನ ಒಟ್ಟು ಅವರ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್ ಹೇಗಿದೆ, ಅವರು ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟನ್ನು ಅರ್ನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರಾ ಆರ್ ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾರಾ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ನೋಡಲಿಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಈಚ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ವಾಟ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್, ಓಕೆ? ಸೇ in last class we studied that what we understood the importance of accountancy, okay? Now we studied that, understood the concept of accountancy as accountancy is the language of business. Is it the meaning of accountancy? No, it is just accountancy is saying that accountancy is the language of business, okay? See, accounting enjoys remarkable heritage. It is not a new concept. It is not introduced in last 2 to 3 years back. It has a long heritage, okay? Say the history of accounting begins is old as civilization. The history of accounting is old as civilization. Say for example, the earliest evidence of the history of or the language of accountancy comes from the Mesopotamian civilization. They kept records of their transactions, okay, in a book. It may be the revenue received, tax collected, and about their total treasuries, okay? They recorded. Say Mesopotamian ಅನ್ನೋ ಸಿವಿಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಒಂದು ಅಕೌಂಟೆನ್ಸಿ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಫಸ್ಟಿಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಡ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಮಗೆ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಓಕೆ? ಅವರ ಒಂದು ಅಕೌಂಟೆನ್ಸಿ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡೋದಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಅನ್ನೋದು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ ಕಂಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಬ್ಯಾಬಿಲೋನಿಯಾ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಈಜಿಪ್ಟ್, okay, also also recorded the transactions. It relates to the payment of wages to the workers and the taxes, payment of taxes. They all they recorded those transactions in their own manner. Okay, and in India, the philosopher and the famous economist called Kautilya wrote Arthashastra in the 2nd century BC in the empire of Chandragupta Maurya's empire. Okay, he wrote a book, famous book, that is Arthashastra. In his book, he mentioned some of the importance of accounting, some of the importance of account and business. Okay, he advised some of the systems or procedures to maintain some accounts, how to maintain the records of each transaction and all. Okay, so this is about the history of accountancy. And let's see the accountancy in olden days or business in olden days. Did we have money in olden days? No. Okay, at that time money has not existed. And the transaction was takes place through the barter system. Barter system. The meaning of barter system. What is the meaning of barter system? There people exchanged goods and services for other goods and services in return. Okay, ಕೊಡುಕೊಳ್ಳುವಿಕೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ, ವಸ್ತು ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಡುಕೊಳ್ಳುವಿಕೆ. ಆ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಮನಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್, ಹಣ ಅನ್ನೋ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಇರದೇ ಇದ್ದ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಾಟರ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್, ಕೊಡುಕೊಳ್ಳುವಿಕೆ, ವಸ್ತು ವಿನಿಮಯ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. ಕೊಡುಕೊಳ್ಳುವಿಕೆ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಜಾರಿಯಲ್ಲಿತ್ತು. ಆವಾಗ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಬಾಟರ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಏನನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು? ಸೇ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಬಟರ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೇ ಬ್ರೆಡ್ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡೆಡ್ in exchange for butter, like that. Okay, you can say your own examples for this barter system. Then slowly some of the changes was took up. Slowly ಮನಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ನಾಣ್ಯಗಳು ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಲೇಟರ್ some changes was took up. And in the concept of accountancy, the initial process of accounting is begin with the concept of bookkeeping. Yesterday we discussed about the concept of bookkeeping. So what is bookkeeping? Bookkeeping is a process of recording the transaction of a business concern in a chronological order. Here in bookkeeping, it is the art of recording debit and credit transaction. Debit and credit concept is very important in the concept of accountancy. Okay, later we will study more about this concept. Now we need to know what bookkeeping. Bookkeeping is the process of recording the transaction. Transaction means transactions, daily happening of some of sequences like consequences anta helbodu, like say purchase of goods, purchase of building or purchase of machinery, sale of goods, receipt from Mr. Rama, payment to Rama, like that. These are all the transactions. Recording of those transactions, that process is called as what? Bookkeeping, maintaining the records. Here it is also called as it is the art of recording debit and credit aspect. Exact meaning of debit and credit you will study in next class, okay, in later class. And so that is about what bookkeeping. It is the initial step of recording the transaction. Initial step of recording the transaction is called as what? Bookkeeping. And come to know about the exact meaning of accounting. Then what is the meaning of accounting? Okay, accounting is a process of recording the transaction. It is a process of recording the transactions. And one important definition is here. According to American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, define accounting as the art of recording. art of recording. Here, before that, art of recording, classifying, summarizing in significant manner in terms of money, transaction and events which are at least of financial character and interpreting the results thereof. It is about the definition. Let's see the meaning. Accounting is a process of identifying the transaction, recording the transaction, classifying the transaction and summarizing the transaction in correct, in proper manner. Why? And that transaction includes the monetary terms that reports, that final reports is required to take decision to the different interested users. Okay, here some of the important concepts we should know about the main concepts of this meaning or definition. Here the first is what? Economic events. Okay, economic events. Okay, accounting means what? Accounting means, accounting is a process of identifying. It is a process of identifying. Here I will write, accounting is the process of identifying, recording and measure. Here identifying, measuring. Before recording we need to measure that, measuring, recording. After measuring we should record the transaction and classifying and interpreting the results. Okay, means we need to interpret the results to communicate results and communicating the results with the interested users. Okay, definition says that accounting is the art of recording, classifying and summarizing the transaction in significant manner. That transaction should involve at least financial character and interpreting the results thereof with the interested users. So the process of identifying, measuring, recording, classifying, interpreting the results and communicating the results with the interested users. Here we need to know the different meanings of, for example, here identification, measuring, recording and all. Okay, let's see one by one. First we should know that economic events. What is economic events? Okay, see, business involves economic events. Okay, here definition ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ ಅಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಇದೊಂದು ಆರ್ಟ್. ಏನದ್ದು ಆರ್ಟ್? ಬಿಗಿನಿಂಗ್ ಇಂದ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ ಏನು, ಅಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್, ದ ಮೇನ್ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ಟು ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ದ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್. ಒಂದು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಆಯಿತು, ಆ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಆದ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. January 1st ಗೆ ಈ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೇ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ಡನ್ ಇನ್ ಒನ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಒನ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್, ಅ ಬುಕ್, ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಅ ಬುಕ್. ಇನ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಬುಕ್ all transactions are recorded. It relates to purchase, sale, payment, receipts, whatever it may be. Which transaction can be measured in terms of money. ಯಾವ ಒಂದು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನನ್ನು ಮನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಷರ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ಆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಬುಕ್ಕಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಒಂದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲಿ ಒಂದು ಬುಕ್ಕಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಆ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ಬುಕ್ಕಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ಯಾವ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ಗಳಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಸೇಲ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಯಾವುದೇ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ಗಳಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈ ದ್ಯಾಟ್. ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡೋದಂದ್ರೇನು? ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಎಟ್ ದ ಎಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಮಂತ್ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಆಸ್ ಅ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಐ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ನೋ ದ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೇಲ್, exact amount of purchase. But firstly I recorded the transaction in one book. In that book all transactions are there. It relates to all transactions, purchase, sale ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಇದೆ. Can we find out the exact amount of sale or purchase? It is not possible. So for that reason we need to classify that transaction. ಫಸ್ಟಿಗೆ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ನಂತರ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಬುಕ್ಕಲ್ಲಿ ಲೆಡ್ಜರ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. ಆ ಲೆಡ್ಜರ್ ಬುಕ್ಕಲ್ಲಿ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ಗೆ ಅಕೌಂಟ್, ಸೇಲ್ಸ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್, ರಿಸಿಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ನ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈಯಿಂಗ್. ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದಟ್ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಸಮ್ಮರೈಸ್ ದಟ್. ಟೋಟಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟು, ಟೋಟಲ್ ಸೇಲ್ ಎಷ್ಟು, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಸಮ್ಮರೈಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಇನ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ ಮ್ಯಾನರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಮ್ಮರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಬಿಫೋರ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ನೋ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ all transactions should be measured in terms of money. Any transactions can be measured in terms of money. That transaction only can record in the books of accounts. Okay, ಯಾವ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಷರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ, ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ, those transaction only can record in the books of accounts. ಸೇ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಮನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಷರ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗದೇ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ವಿ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸಪೋಸ್ ಟು ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್ ನೌ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ನೋ ದ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಈವೆಂಟ್. ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಈವೆಂಟ್. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಈವೆಂಟ್? ಸಿ, every business organization involves economic events. Okay, economic events anta helidrenu some happenings of consequences relates to the business activities. Okay, so it may be we can say that only any transactions can be measured in terms of money. Those transactions only can record in the books of account. So these economic events which consist of transactions which can be measured in terms of money. ಯಾವ ಒಂದು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಷರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ಆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಈವೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ಸ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ purchase of raw material. Okay, for the production purpose they need to purchase some raw materials. Sugar produce ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಏನು ನಮಗೆ raw material ಬೇಕು? ಕಚ್ಚಾ ವಸ್ತುವಾಗಿ ಏನು ಬೇಕು? Sugar cane. Okay, that is for sugar industry, sugar cane is a raw material. Getting my point? So ಯಾವ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಮನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಷರ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ದೋಸ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಈವೆಂಟ್ಸ್, happening, consequence anta helteve. Okay, relates to the business activity, involves a transaction which can be measured in terms of money. Say for example, we cannot record the transactions like appointment of a manager or the value of human resources can be measured in terms of money. ನಮ್ಮ ಒಟ್ಟು ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸಿನ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ 1 lakh. ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ವಿ ಮೆಷರ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್? ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್. ವಿಚ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಮೆಷರ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಮನಿ? ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ rupees 10,000, sale of goods for rupees 15,000. These are all the transactions can be measured in terms of money. Such transactions are recorded in the books of accounts. That is what economic events. A business concern always includes these economic events. Okay, next we need to know the identifying. Okay, identifying. We know the meaning of accounting now. Okay, accounting is the process of identifying the transaction and recording the transaction. Okay, now what is identifying? Identification andre enu? Okay, first we know that, now we know that in a business account only transactions which can be measured in terms of money, those transactions can be recorded. ಯಾವ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನನ್ನು ಮನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಷರ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ಆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾತ್ರ ನಾವು ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಂತ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಇನ್ ಅ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಕನ್ಸರ್ನ್ there are number of transactions taking up. Okay, it includes monetary activities, non-monetary activities and all. So we need to identify such activities, like in this day we purchased this much products, in this day we sold this much products worth rupees 20,000, 25,000, in this day on 1/1/2020 we sold goods worth rupees this much. Okay, like that we first of all we should find out that transaction. Getting my point? Say already I mentioned what is that appointment of a manager or appointment of a professionals, or the some of the changes took up in the management policies we cannot measure in terms of money. Those transactions cannot be measured in terms of money, so we can't. These transaction may be very important for the organization. Say ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿಯನ್ನು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವರ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಟೈಮಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಇದೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ಗಳೇ ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ಗೆ. ಬಟ್ we cannot record in the books of accounts because that transactions cannot be measured in terms of money. So hagagi we need, before recording the transaction we should identify the transaction. What are the transactions can be recorded in the books of account? That is called as what? Identification, identifying. After that we need to know the next function. What is that? Measurement. Okay, measurement. So measurement anta helidrenu already after identification, measurement, that say for example we identified the transaction, purchase of goods, that is identified transaction. Measured, that transaction should be quantified, like rupees worth rupees 10,000, 20,000, 100, 200, like that. Okay, say it means quantification of transaction, business transaction into financial terms, maybe in rupees or paise. That is called as what? Measurement. And the next one is what? Recording. What is recording? Recording is nothing but recording the transaction in the books of account in a chronological order. 1st January, 1st January 5 transactions, 2nd January another 5 to 10 transaction, like that. Recording the transaction in chronological order, that process is called as what? Recording. Once the economic events are find out, after that identify the transaction, we measure the transaction, then only we can record those transaction. And the next one is communication. Communication of information. Communication. In last class we studied that what accounting, the main purpose of this accounts is to find out the final position of a business organization. Final profit ಎಷ್ಟಾಯಿತು, ಲಾಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟಾಯಿತು, ಎಷ್ಟು ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮನಿ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ನೋಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಅಕೌಂಟ್ಸನ್ನು ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಯೂಸರ್ಸ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಆರ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಫೈನಲ್ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಈಸ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್ ಟು ಸೋ ಮೆನಿ ಅದರ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, that based on that information their decision is depends. Okay, maybe investors, government, customers, creditors, number of internal and external users are exist within the organization. Okay, ಒಂದು ಫರ್ಮಿನ ಫೈನಲ್ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆ? ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ. ಸೊ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ the final position of an organization need to be communicated with the others, with the interested users. So here what communication is also very important, like they need to communicate their business final position with the two categories of users. One is internal users and one more is external users. Okay, internal users includes employees within the organization, chief executive officers, financial manager and other managers who are exist in the organization. They all require such information. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಲಾಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದರ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟರ್ನಲ್ ಯೂಸರ್ಸ್ ಯಾರೆಲ್ಲ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟರ್ನಲ್ ಯೂಸರ್ಸ್? ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಸಪ್ಲೈಯರ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟರ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಓಕೆ, ದೇ ಆಲ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್ ದ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್. ಅವರಿಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಒಂದು ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ಸಿನ ಫೈನಲ್ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ. ಓಕೆ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟರ್ನಲ್ ಯೂಸರ್ಸ್. Every organization need to communicate their accounting information with the internal and external users. Internal users includes employees, chief executive officers, financial manager, different level managers. They all require that information. External users includes examples for external users: investors and potential investors and customers, suppliers. They all are comes under external users. Okay, and next one we should know the meaning of organization. So organization, beginning class itself we studying that accounting is very important to know the financial position of a business organization. What is the meaning of organization? We know the meaning of business now. Business is an occupation which consists of production and sale, purchase of goods and services with the main intention to earning profit. That is the meaning of business. Then what is organization? Organization refers to the business enterprise, or the business enterprise maybe a profit. It is starting their activities with the intention to earn a profit or not for profit. Depends on the size of the organization, depends on the nature of the organization. It may be sole proprietorship. Types of organization anta barutte. Idralli sole proprietorship, partnership, joint stock company, cooperative society. About these topics you will study in later classes. Even in the business studies also these concepts are very important. What is sole proprietorship? What is joint stock company and all? Okay, so organization means what? It is a business enterprise, whether it is introduced or started their activities for to earn the profit or not for profit motive. This is about what? The important aspects of the ಅಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್. ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಇಷ್ಟು ಆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನು ನೋಡಿರ್ತೇವೆ. ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಈವೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಏನು, ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಏನು, ಮೆಜರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, ರೆಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್, ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಶನ್. ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಟ್. They are the interested users of accounting information. These two are interested users, internal and external. Then organization. Now we know the organization meaning also. We know the business meaning. Now we know the accounting meaning also. Accounting means what? It is a process of identification, recording, summarizing, classifying, summarizing and communicating the accounting information with the interested users of that information. That is about the meaning. Okay, so and we know the meaning of bookkeeping. Bookkeeping is the art, or it is the process of recording the transaction is called as bookkeeping, and it is also called as what? It is the art of recording debit and credit aspects of account. Okay, so next so now we know the process of accounting. We should know the process of accounting. Okay, so process of accounting is like, say, how it starts with the process of accounting. It starts from economic event. You know the meaning of economic event right now? Yes, economic events. And then next, the process of accounting. What are the process of accounting? Yes, accounting process: identification, identification, measuring, classifying and recording. Okay, these are all the process of ಯಾವುದೆಲ್ಲ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ರೆಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಮೆಷರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದಟ್ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದಟ್ classifying the transaction. These are all the process of what? Communicating the accounting information is also concerned a process of accounting. And the next after that we need to communicating accounting information. Communicating accounting information. With whom? Communicating the accounting information with the interested users. Who are the interested users of accounting? Yes, internal and external users. Internal users, for example, employees, financial officers or chief executive officers, managers and all, they are the internal users. External users, suppliers, customers, potential investors, these are all the external users. So we need to communicate our business organization's final position. Maybe it may be the profit or loss position. We need to communicate with them. Why? To take important decision making. Okay, to take important decision. So this is a process of accounting process starts with the economic events and continues. The process of accounting involves identification, measurement, classification, recording and classification and communicating. That we need to communicate that accounting information with the interested users to take important decision. That is a process of accounting. Understood, right? It is a process of accounting. So what is the main objective of accounting? First of all, they need to record the business transaction. The first objective of accounting is what? Recording the business transaction. Why we are recording the business transaction? To calculate profit or loss. The main objectives of accounting. The first one is what? First objective of accounting is what? Recording the business transaction. After identifying the economic events, we need to record the business transaction. So recording the business transaction is the first objective. So coming to the objectives of accounting. Objectives of accounting. The first objective is what? Recording the business transaction. Recording the business transaction. Recording the business transaction. And the next one, what? To calculate profit or loss. Calculate profit or loss. We know that without recording the transaction, we cannot analyze the profit or loss of our organization. So to calculate the profit or loss, and the final objective is to depict the final position. Okay, to means depiction of final position. Depiction of final position or financial position. You can say that financial position. Our business organization position anna express madlike, our company earned profit of rupees 1 lakh or 1 crore, like that we need to depict our financial position with the needed with the outsiders, means we need to communicate our accounting information with the interested users, right? So these three are the important objective of accounting. Clear, right? The first objective of accounting is what? Recording the transaction, recording the business transaction. We know that accounting is an economic event, involves economic events. Recording is the first function, means identifying. After identifying the transaction, we need to measure the transaction, we need to record that transaction. The first objective of accounting is what? To record the business transaction. Why we are recording? We are analyzing. We need to analyze the transaction. We need to summarize the transaction. We need to give interpretation. Why? To calculate profit or loss, and through that we can we can take any decision, or we can give the summary about the financial position of our organization. This is about the objectives of accounting. We can, through a chart, we can clearly get to know about the whole process or whole meaning of accounting. The first accounting process starts from identifying. Identifying means what? Identifying the transactions, like say purchase of goods. Purchase of goods, that is what? Identification. And next aspect is measuring. Okay, measuring the transaction, like purchase of goods for rupees 10,000, that is a measurement. The next is what? Recording the transaction. In the book called journal, in the journal book, we initially we record the transaction. All transaction relates to purchase, sale, receipts, payments, all transactions are recorded in that book. Okay, so in journal, okay, includes, say for example, purchase account debited to cash account. Take example. Okay, next recording. Okay, after recording, we need to analyze that transaction. Before that, classifying the account called ledger. Okay, means here in this journal book we record all the transaction that includes purchase, sale, or any other transaction. We need to classify the transactions to know the exact amount of sales, purchase and all, sales total, to know the sales total or purchase total and all. Okay, so classifying, that is what? Classifying. And the next one is summarizing the total sales or total profits. That is what? Summarizing comes under summarizing. We can say that what? Say here in ledger we calculate the total sales or total purchase. Through that we need to summarize that. Okay, summarizing the transaction. And analyzing and interpreting. Interpreting the transaction. Analyzing and interpreting the transactions. Say we need to analyze the transaction. Say ಒಂದು ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಲಾಸ್ ಆಯಿತು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಲಾಸ್ ಆಯಿತು, ಯಾವ ರೀಸನ್ ಅದನ್ನು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಆರ್ ಇಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿಟಿಂಗ್, ಸೇ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಇಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿಟ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಥ್ರೂ ದ ಅಕೌಂಟ್. ಸೇ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಟ್ರಯಲ್ balance to know the exact amount of profit or loss. Okay, profit or loss. The last procedure is what? Communicating the accounting information with the interested users. After analyzing and interpreting the results, we need to communicate that information. We need to communicating the accounting information with whom? The interested users, with the interested users. Why with the interested users required accounting information? Why? To take important decision. So this is the total process of what? Accounting. So identifying, measuring, recording, classifying the transaction, summarizing and analyzing and interpreting the transaction with communicating the accounting information with the interested users. Okay, this is about the process and the meaning of accounting. In next class we will study about the basic terms of accounting. So these are by understood this concept we can easily move to the next concepts, that is what? The basic terms of accounting. Thank you.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.